Hey there, patrons. How you doing? It's your boy, Jonathan Macri, with you for a very special bonus episode of the Knicks Film School Podcast. I am joined here on the stage at the present moment by Andrew Claudio. Hello, Andrew. How are you?
I'm great, John. How are you?
I'm okay. There's a lot going on right now. Not like in our life. It's 9 o'clock and, the day is pretty much over. But a lot going on in KFS land because, well, I said hello there, patrons, and this is this week's Patreon episode. But as a one-time only thing, this is also going to be an episode that we are going to release on our regular Knicks Film School feed, and that is because we are giving the masses a little bit of a taste of what they could have if they dip their toe in the waters of, I don't know what we want to say, premium content. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes, bonus premium content. If you want to sign up for the brand new Brunson tier, and if you missed it, whether it be the announcement on social or the announcement on the post game last night, for those just hearing this for the first time, we have a Patreon and we have added a tier, an $11 tier called the Brunson tier, where you will get additional content from Benjy Ritholtz and DJ Zulo, our outstanding film experts here at Knicks Film School. You also get all the same, again, if you're unaware of our Patreon, we have a mellow tier for $7 a month. That's just an extra podcast a week and an ad-free version of the Knicks Film School podcast. So an ad-free, uninterrupted version. Audio, I should add. We're not just putting the video up. It's just the audio version. So you get all the mellow tier stuff and then all the Brunson tier stuff. And if you'd like, we do a town hall once a month. We jump on Zoom with a bunch of people if you want to be in the Monroe tier for $15 a month. All that to be said, I had been doing the Mellow Tier pod with John for the first 4 years of our Patreon.
It's been 4 years?
2021 was the first. So 3.5.
That's longer than I thought it was.
Time flies
when you're raising kids, I guess.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
You wouldn't know that, no.
But I am now happy to pass the baton on to two fine gentlemen whose work I admire and cannot wait to hear you discuss the NBA at large. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. DJ Zulo and Mr. Benjy Ritholtz. Hello, fellas.
Hey!
Gentlemen. Excited to be here.
Why did Benjy do the
wacky waving inflatable tube man?
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. The wacky waving inflatable tube man.
It did something.
It's just the energy. It's the energy I'm feeling.
Got it.
Vibes.
He's got the build. He's like, what? You're like 6'3", lanky.
Yeah,
you got to look. I can see it.
Getting less lanky by the month, but yeah, theoretically.
I think that happens as you get older. So we got a couple of things going on here. We have Andrew bidding adieu to Patreon, although he may pop up every now and again. At some point he will. I don't know if you have a piece to say, Andrew, or if you just said your piece. I'll leave that to you. But we also have
a piece to say. Wait, what do you mean?
It's like you wanted to say a heartfelt goodbye or something.
We're at the beginning of what's probably going to be a long episode, so I'll say goodbye at the very end. How's that?
Okay.
Also, again, not dying, so there will be a world where the people will get to listen to me again at some point.
Yes. Like on the pregame pod. But this is also an introduction. So the way this is going to work moving forward, on most weeks at least, is I am going to have the luxury of podcasting with one of these two fine gentlemen. We're probably going to alternate weeks. It's going to be either me and Benjy or me and DJ. Occasionally we'll get together, maybe the three of us if schedules work out. But we thought to kick things off today, not only are we again releasing a version of the Patreon pod that again you get if you sign up for our Patreon, but we're getting a whole band together and we're doing something very special. And before I introduce what we're doing today, which is going to be a draft that I concocted, and we hope it goes okay. Benjy, DJ, anything you guys want to say at the top? But Benjy, I'll go to you first.
I want to say a few words about Andrew. We're so happy for you, and we hope that you have a lovely future.
In my future endeavors, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. In my future endeavors at Knicks Film School.
Okay, that was really well done, Benjy. DJ, anything you'd like to say?
Off to a rousing start. I think we got like 2 subscribers just Benjy was delivering that, whatever that was. We're just Benjy and I have been sort of talking about this for a while. We're just really excited to collaborate with you guys to do this. We're really passionate about what we can provide, what we can create and build here. I posted earlier today, 2 years to the day. I reached out randomly to Andrew asking if I could possibly join the group at KFS. So for me personally, it's been a nice 2 years, and to see it get to this point is very satisfying on a personal level, and just really excited to see where it all goes from here. So
that is why I partnered with this gentleman, because
there you go.
God knows I can't do anything.
You do some things, Benjy, as we'll find out on this episode. So just to make it clear for everybody listening, if you want to get a pod with, again, me and Benjy or DJ once a week, hop on to the Mellow tier. If you want to get all kinds of additional bonus content from them, Benjy's doing an expansion of his grades that he puts on Twitter. The first one was incredible, and I was like, oh my God, I have to now put out a daily thing that competes with this, as if I didn't need another freaking headache.
It's not daily. Don't raise the expectations. It's just post games.
It's just it's after every game.
Don't skip.
Plus some articles, plus DJ's doing bonus film work. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Mailbag. Yeah, DJ's doing X's and O's mailbag. And you can get all that extra stuff, again, in the Brunson tier, $11 a month. And if you want to be a part of the town halls on top of all that, Monroe tier at $15 a month. Today, what are we doing today? We're doing a draft. And I am calling it the inaugural, because I think there's going to be more of these things. Inaugural Knicks Film School X's and O's draft. And here is how this is going to work. Everybody does drafts in all kinds of different formats and topics. I unapologetically stole the draft concept from my favorite podcast, The Big Picture Pod, who does movie drafts. And we've drafted players based on draft years. We've drafted Knicks. We've drafted all kinds of different things. Today, we're putting a little twist on that, in that we are not drafting players, but we are drafting, let's call it, tenets of the game of basketball. So here's how this is going to work. We got four draftees here, obviously the four of us, and we are going to be drafting in 6 categories that encompass 6 aspects of the game of basketball, the NBA, as we know it. I will say what those 6 categories are, and then I will go through kind of the rules, although there really aren't really very many rules. The 6 categories are team offense, team defense, and those are the only team categories. And then we have 3 individual player categories: rim protector, point of attack defender, and isolation scorer. And then we have a 6th category in which we will be drafting duos, and that is pick and roll combination. So we have 2 kind of individual offensive categories, 2 individual defensive categories, and then 2 team categories for 3 offense, 3 defense. The catch, and this is really the only catch, is that once someone or a team or a pair or a person from a team gets drafted, you can no longer have anybody from or anything from that team again. So, for instance, let's say DJ Zulo gets the luck of the draw with the first pick. Actually, no, I'm going to give it to Benjy. And Benjy, as I'm sure he would do, selects Jericho Sims as his rim protector. That means no one else could draft anybody from the Knicks. Can't draft the Knicks offense, can't draft the Knicks pick and roll duo, can't draft the Knicks point of attack defender. The Knicks are off the board. As Benjy looks at me confusingly, which makes me very, very worried. Benjy,
No, we're good. I thought that it was just like the specific. We're good. So the team. If you select someone from a team, that team is off the board.
So that means there's 4 of us, 6 categories. That means 24 different NBA teams in some form or fashion are going to get drafted today. So it'll be curious who are the 6 that are left out in the cold. My guess is the Wizards will be one of them, but we'll see. Did I explain all that correctly? Or succinctly?
No, for the people that may have missed it, like me, What are the 6 categories again? I got the duos, I got the team defense, I got the team offense.
Rim protector, point of attack defender, and isolation scorer. Okay. And yeah, that's really it. So I don't think there's anything else to say. You wanna draw the cards, Andrew, or should I not spoil your scientific method?
I don't know what you're talking about, John.
Okay. Do you not have the? Oh my God, he doesn't have the cards.
Oh my God, this is why
I'm dropping the ball. He's so ready to be done with Patreon.
No. They're just in a different spot, ladies and gentlemen. For those who have never tuned into one of our drafts in the past, we have a very technical, convoluted process in determining draft order known as high card draw. Shout out to the fine folks in NBA Summer League for this deck of cards that we're going to be using. Shout out Las Vegas. We'll start with age order. So, John, your first card after I do this shuffle.
We hire someone older than me, so I don't always.
I believe Sean is older than you.
Oh yeah, Sean is older than me.
So there you go. And Ray Marcano is like technically like adjacent to Knicks Film School.
This is true.
Yeah, John, your card is a ace of spades. I have a feeling John's gonna have the first pick.
A lot of pressure.
DJ, I believe you're next. DJ, your card is a king of clubs.
Okay.
Ooh,
Take that.
Benjy, I'm older than you, I think.
damn right.
Sure. Okay. My card is a 3 of spades. All right. That's not looking great. And then Benjy, your card is a 8 of clubs. So the order will be John, DJ, Benjy, and then me.
Whew.
Okay.
So the pressure's on right away. I was thinking all day about what I would do if I got the first pick, and I was trying to think about it fairly and as anybody.
I have a clarification question.
Sure.
We're basing it off of right now, like this season at the moment.
What you are drafting basically as if you got this player or a team or duo for the rest of this year, right? So
Okay.
it's you're encompassing what they've done this season, obviously, and what you think that they will do for the rest of this year. You're drafting them for the year ahead.
Yeah. So you can project a little bit. Like if a player's having a down year and you think he or he's going to get better, the duo's going to improve. You could
Precisely
play it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's a lot more fun than like say marking a someone or some entity down because they've had a rough year. That's part of the fun of it. Is projecting. Right. Is projecting forward. So, with that spirit in mind, as anyone who has listened to drafts before knows, or anybody who's really listened to any pod I've ever done, I don't favor the Knicks. Unlike Andrew, who Patreon draft after Patreon draft just shamelessly and egregiously curries favor with a fan base that I guess he thinks is gullible enough to fall for this nonsense by drafting Knicks, even though they may not deserve to get drafted. I would never demean myself or our listeners, frankly, by doing that. So, but as I thought about this particular draft, I said, there's so many good options here. I will give the tie to the runner. And if I could convince myself that there is a Knick entity or person or duo who should get drafted first overall, and all things being equal, you know what? Why not have a little fun? So I am going to take the Knicks off the board with the first pick, and I am going to draft Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns as a pick and roll combination. We were talking about this before in our text chain about updated stats for pick and roll combos. None of us could seem to find anything that's more recent than a month ago. But as of a month ago, KAT and Brunson were the most prolific pick and roll combination in the league by a significant margin. I know Brunson's slumped a little bit since then, but I see no reason to believe that those guys are any less potent than they were, when Brunson was not in the shooting slump. If I could pick any two guys, any two-man combination in the league for offensive purposes, I think it's Brunson and Towns. And I'm not going to say it's not particularly close because there's another duo who has done some pretty special things together. But yes, I am going with Towns and Brunson. Who should I turn? I'll turn to DJ first. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, when Benjy and I talked a few weeks ago, he asked me what my biggest surprise was, and it was the fact that Brunson and KAT basically had no. Their synergy was almost immediate, and you thought there was going to be a little bit of a try to figure things out, and it was like a little bit in the preseason, like the first game or two, but since then it's been an absolute wonderful marriage. And I think both of them individually are having great years scoring out of pick and roll. Then when you combine them as a duo, as you mentioned, they're the best in the NBA, I think, right now. Numbers say that. I think the talent says that. I think it's a home run pick. It's probably, if I had the first pick, I would have thought long and hard about taking them first, because then you take the Knicks offense off the board as well. And Brunson has an isolation score off the board. So I think it's a really defensible pick, and they've been everything you could have asked for when they made that trade.
Benjy, any thoughts?
Yeah, my only thought is I actually think there's room to grow. That's the crazy part and the fun part about it. I actually think Brunson still can get it to Towns more quickly on a more frequent basis when he pops. Sometimes he's still a little hesitant to find him, and I think that's just an adjustment period to a player unlike anyone he's played with. They're still navigating what happens when a wing guards Towns and whether to run pick and roll and how to run pick and roll if that takes place. So there's still room to grow with this duo. But it's been pretty awesome to see the early success, the dominance, frankly, that they've displayed on the offensive end. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you?
Real quick. One of the things where against a switching defense, I posted on X about this a few times, where you can have Towns set the screen below the player guarding Brunson that's going to plan to switch on to Towns. And if he sets it below and stays that way and just slips out of that screen, it's really hard for that defender to then get behind Towns and prevent that roll to the rim. So that's an area where the Knicks did a little bit of that with Hartenstein last year, but they really haven't tapped into it this year. But I think it's a nice weapon to have against a team that's really switch heavy when you can plan for it. So it's one little aspect to their scheme where I think they can go to. And
by the way, when you draft a duo, I assume theoretically it could be the inverted version as well, right? Absolutely. So it could be Brunson screening for Towns, which you really have not seen, but it was
right. You've seen something. Payne. Yeah, you've seen Payne.
It is something I'd like to see a little bit more.
I agree.
It's funny you bring up Payne, because I was looking at all the respective numbers with KAT and JB earlier today, with like together, one off the court and then both of them off the court, and the numbers with Towns on the court and Brunson off the court are frankly absurd. And he's like 80% of those minutes are with Cameron freaking Payne.
Well, the transition is crazy. Yeah. They get out and run, and his defensive rebounding and his outlet pass, and Payne can push and get out in transition. Yeah, it's been nice when those two have been playing.
Yeah, it seems like Towns to me is playing like a player who has been re-empowered. Not to say that he wasn't, he was empowered earlier in his career, and then I think the last couple of years in Minnesota, we'll see. So okay, first pick up, Knicks are off the board, which I believe we go to.
I didn't have any thoughts on the combo, John. Don't worry about not asking.
I figure you want to get out of here as soon as possible. So
no, it's okay. My only thoughts are going to be that it's good that even though I'm not here anymore, there is somebody around still to make the homer pick to guarantee that they win the draft. So congratulations to John. We probably could wrap things up now, but for shiz and giggles, I'm watching Wicked, and apparently there's a thing called Shiz University. DJ, you can go next.
Yes. So this was going to be my top pick if I got the first selection, and I think it's for the category I'm selecting. I think it's the best pick, but also it has the advantage of knocking some other options off the table. So I'm going to go with the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense and isolation. Shea, you're out. Caruso's point of attack defense, you're out. Hartenstein's rim protection, you're out too. Maybe J-Dub's point of attack defense if you were going to get a little
Caruso's point
spicy.
Of attack defense.
Caruso, I see Caruso's point of attack defense as well off the board. So, Oklahoma City's defense, they're historically good. I thought their defense against Boston specifically in the fourth quarter was breathtaking at times. I know they struggled a little bit against Cleveland, but their performances against the Knicks and Boston on basically back-to-back games was as good as it gets. And that's with Chet not playing other than a handful of games and Caruso being out for a bit of time. Their incredible, and they're somehow going to get better and more talented. And it's pretty much all she wrote for the league on the offensive side, because this defense is
a deep breath. Take a breath on the over. I mean, listen, league.
Their offense is going to, I think, hold them back a little bit. But if we're just talking defense, you can't poke any holes in it right now. The only thing you got is that they're a little small, but Chet kind of cleans a little bit of that up.
Cleveland poked so many holes that there was nothing left.
No Caruso, no Holmgren. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You bring Chet as a double big against those two. It's a little different for Mobley now.
Well, they're not going to be able. Okay, look. Yes, they're awesome. They're awesome. They're awesome. The reinforcements will help. Caruso and Holmgren, as great as they are, like the way Hartenstein's been playing gets limited a little bit with like they have to figure out lineups and and they have to balance the offense defense. Now they have the tools to do it. They have so many players. They're going to be amazing. They're going to probably win 65 plus games this year. Like they're going to be awesome. But I have some concern. I do have some concerns. The defense the defense is historically good. There's no arguing the defense.
You have no concerns about the defense, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's what I'm picking.
The defense.
I'm glad you said that it's over for the league.
Well, to score against this team, yes.
When I first thought of the draft, the first pick that popped into my head was Oklahoma City's defense.
Yep, that would have been my first pick.
It's the chalk pick, and I think that is partially because this category gets really thin really fast, and we're all gonna have to now be on high alert. The one thing I will say, and if we had done this draft 2 or 3 days, whatever, before the Cavs game, I maybe would have picked differently with my first pick. And a few people have made this point, like the league's offenses are at a point now where you could have what is statistically the best defense, maybe in like 40 years or whatever, the Oklahoma City's defense profiles. And some nights it's not going to matter because of the way offenses are. So maybe this is a little bit too cute by half, but like, to draft a defense first overall in a league where, I mean, just the offensive explosion is that's the best I got as far as excuses to why I didn't pick them. But yeah, that's a great pick. Andrew, any thoughts here?
No, I have nothing. Go ahead, Benjy, you're up. I also probably would have went. I have a different direction actually what I went, which is why I'm glad I got back-to-back picks, but it's going to depend on what Benjy does next. Okay. So we'll see what happens.
All right. I am going to take as my shot creator. The person who I believe is leaps and bounds beyond any other shot creator right now in the league. Okay. And that is Nikola Jokic, the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Can I just make a clarifying point? John referred to this as an isolation score. You're referring to it as a shot creator.
Whoa.
Well, hold on.
So I just want to get shot creation implies some playmaking.
The text thread says shot creator.
You two talk it out. What's the difference?
Well, if I think isolation, I'm thinking more of like your ability to get a bucket one-on-one.
I'd take Jokic too.
Okay. Would it change your opinion?
I might not have taken him this early, but look, the text thread says shot creator.
I'm okay with shot creator actually.
Okay.
I think that is a fair way of doing it.
Let's do shot creator. I'm changing it in my deck.
Do you want to make it isolation score / shot creator?
Nope.
Okay.
I already picked him. Leave me alone and let me talk for a second.
Okay. Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Cook, Benjy.
Where was I? Anyway, yeah, Nikola Jokic, I think, is by far the best offense creator, shot creator in the league, whether it's himself scoring, whether it's having others score. The fact that they're fourth in offense with 119 points per 100 possessions per cleaning the glass. Yeah. When they shoot no threes, like none, they don't shoot threes because they have really pretty subpar offensive personnel around him. And they're fourth in offense in a league, as you just described, John, where offenses are so good. Mm-hmm. And it's like just him. Jamal Murray's down, like not having the same kind of year. He's playing with Russell Westbrook a lot. And Russ is doing some good things, but like we've seen it over the years. Like that's no guarantee for a good offense right now. It's just pretty remarkable. Really, it's pretty remarkable what he himself means to an offense. And I think I do believe he's like leaps and bounds beyond anybody else right now as a person who creates shots for his team. I think probably second is Luka in that discussion, but I don't even think he's in the same league. So that's why, just considering the separation, between him and the next guy, I think that's where I'm going with the pick. The other thing I would say, it takes away the Murray Jokic pick and roll off the board, which I'm happy to do because that's obviously one of the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I got
he's a fantastic pick, and what he's shooting 4 more times per game, and his efficiency is basically taking no hit, which is pretty remarkable for him at his age.
Leading the league in 3-point percentage.
He shoot 47% from 3. Yeah, I mean,
what the hell?
He's taking 6 per game. I mean, he is. I don't know. It's hard to really wrap your head around how good he is offensively right now.
We're in the midst of like, I don't know. Like the thing is, it happened so quick, and even after it started happening, I've referenced this a few times, but I find it amazing in retrospect that the year after he won the MVP, not only was he not the favorite to win the next year, he was like I think he was like the 4th or 5th. He was like plus 1,400 to win it the next year after he already won it, which it shows you how many people after he had already done it once thought this was a fluke, and then he just keeps doing it, and it's I don't know where we're gonna like put this guy historically, but like I still don't. I think he's honestly, I think he's still like underrated, which just sounds weird, but yeah. Nikola Jokic, really good basketball player. Good pick, Benji. Those are 2 great picks.
Jokic is averaging 37 minutes a game. They should fire
his coach yesterday.
Yep. His backup is the corpse of DeAndre Jordan.
Who cares? You don't know unless you play him, Benji. You don't actually know what he is.
This is what we're doing. This is
hold on. I need to get DeAndre Jordan's plus minus.
Let's change the podcast. Let's just talk minutes.
You should. I mean, have you actually seen what he does in garbage time? No, because the coach won't play him, Benji. Okay, so I have 2 picks, right?
He's going out with in a blaze of glory.
Pick Kolek Huckporty as your PNR duo.
You know, I thought about it, and then I watched those 2. Oh, damn. The Knicks are off the board. John, you ruined it for me. Oh, no. So the beauty of the X's and O's draft, while all these numbers and all this data is cute and keeps us all well informed, right? Is that your eye test really matters here. And it's what has stood out to you the most on the court. Your on-court recognition and expertise is what I think stands out the most. It's what I think Benjy and DJ have brought into our lives and has been so essential over the past couple of years, which is why, in the spirit of this, I'm going to go with something that has stood out to me the most throughout watching the NBA this season. And the 2 things that have stood out to me the most, I'm going to start with my point of attack defender. And the only time I've seen Jalen Brunson and really the Knicks water get shut off is
already writing it down.
Was when Dyson Daniels was guarding him at the point of attack. The great barrier thief, who DJ, shout out to you. You came on the preview I was doing and the best defensive wings. We did our top 5s, and you said that you thought Dyson Daniels is the best point of attack defender in the NBA, and I was like, really? All right, I trust your expertise, but I don't think that's accurate. And then what is he through the first 40 games of the season, but the best point of attack defender in the NBA? If there are other great ones, which is why this may be early to do this. I'm sure you guys will be able to get good ones when you make your picks. But as far as things that have stood out to me the most this season, it's Dyson Daniels at the point of attack, specifically when he guarded the Knicks. That 4 days when really that week when Trey and the Hawks came into the Garden and it was like, oh my gosh, Trae Young beat the Knicks again. Oh my God, they dominated. Look at the pick and roll. And did anybody notice they scored 108 points and like he was largely bad for the game? And then it was really the offensive side of the ball that the Knicks couldn't do anything, this high powered offense. And it's because they were cutting off the head of the snake with Dyson Daniels guarding Jalen Brunson. So the one person I know that noticed is Benjy because I'm largely stealing from his film session. So yes, that'll be my first one. Dyson Daniels, point of attack defender.
I'll just say that there were 3 things I had in a tier of their own at 1, and Daniels.
Yep, that was one of them. I'm with you. And Andrew, it's not just the Knicks. You know this, but
yeah. Shout out Sam Vecini, who's been putting these clips up throughout the year. I've been forced to edit many a video of Dyson Daniels' point of attack defense. Yeah,
his deflection lead is when Barry Bonds with like walks back in the day. It's
yeah.
Like there's a
and it's not just like the fact that it's not just that he's like a stud in terms of like preventing you from scoring, right? It's the turnover causation, the deflections. He's averaging 3.1 steals a game. That's 8th all time.
That's
like that's nuts. It's the most since John Stockton in 1989, who averaged 3.2. Like we're talking about like historical defense.
Yeah, and steals in general in the late 80s were just much higher. So that 3 point whatever was, it doesn't even compare to what Daniels is doing now.
He routinely has 6, 7, 8 steal games. I've never seen anything like it. It's
not gambling steals where he puts his team at a detriment. It's all technique, and it's my God, a fucking nightmare. I don't want to. When do we play them again?
Sometime in January. So no, we play them the Tuesday before Valentine's Day. Okay. So one of the last games before break.
Andrew gets to pick again.
Yes, I do.
He gets a score.
I think I know where he's going with this one, but I'm not going to say anything.
Well, look. I'm not going with anybody in the Ball family. I'll let you guys figure out if you want to take LiAngelo's brother. The other thing that stood out to me the most was Christmas Day when the Knicks played a literal alien. His rim protection the rim protection from Victor Wembanyama. To borrow a phrase from DJ that he just said, it's over for the league. I think collectively we're all kind of getting used to the idea that the league is very much on notice. And this is from an all-around standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, from a passing standpoint, it's going to be his league, and all the Defensive Player of the Year awards and MVPs and whatnot will be his in the not too distant future. I've never seen someone that could guard your 3-point shot and then take a couple steps and also guard you at the rim. So even if you get a nice pass down to someone in the dunker spot, he is quite literally an alien. So I will go Victor Wembanyama as a rim protector. And this is where just I don't even know what the numbers say, to be honest. Maybe he like isn't the statistically the best one, but the video that went around on social last year of a team having a 3-on-1 with Wemby and nobody wanting to take the shot at the rim is just forever going to be the visual representation of, that's impact. That's gravity. That's literally, you're afraid. That's protecting the rim just with your size. So Wemby will be my rim protector.
What? Two quick things. One, I just went to pour myself more bourbon because you got Dyson Daniels and Victor Wembanyama back to back. You asked for numbers. So on 8.2 shots a game within 6 feet, Wembanyama is holding shooters to a field goal percentage that is 12.7 percentage points lower than their norm. When you look at the volume and the amount of games he's played, like KP has a really big drop, but KP hasn't played a lot of games and he hasn't faced as many shots as Wemby does. When you look at the volume and the drop in field goal percentage, the numbers bear out what the eye test says. So I don't know.
And I've seen graphics going around. Like, even though he's right, I think it's 50% at the rim according to NBA.com, which is excellent, but not like the best in the league. But when you combine the volume, the expected field goal percentage, and I've seen in B-ball indexes kind of rim over like more what's the word? It includes more stats in the rim protection metric. He's first by like a pretty decent margin. So he's different. He's different at the rim than anybody else in the league right now.
Well, it's in the shots that aren't taken, that Andrew talked about. That's the stuff that he's just different. There's no one like him. No one has ever. I don't remember. And I've been watching a lot of NBA. I mean, John, you too. We watched the 90s, right, where there was littered with centers.
It should have theoretically been easier to deter shots because you're getting so many more shots in that general vicinity. I mean, who was the best of that era? Probably Hakeem, right?
Hakeem was the best. Yeah. But it just seems like this guy is different. And then you talk about like there's more room for him to fill out a little bit more and get a little bit stronger. I know they're really cognizant of like him not adding too much weight, but he's going to naturally get stronger. And that's like the last thing that you can sort of take advantage of right now, where you can sort of get into him a little bit and move him. I mean, that's going to change in a couple of years, and then you're just not going to have that option as readily available to you. And then what do you do? That's it's just, he's insane. He's insane. Great pick.
Thank you.
Great back-to-back picks, Andrew. Like
no one's scoring against Andrew's team.
Yeah.
Surely not.
Which means
Benjy,
we go
back to you.
to Benjy. Well, Benjy has Jokic, so that's a good start. I'm curious where he goes from here.
Same, honestly. I am going to take.
Oh, he's already jammed up. I love this. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. Second round, Benjy's jammed up. It's fantastic.
Freaking brutal. I am going to take the Boston Celtics offense.
That's the fact that they lasted to the 6th pick, and it might be the greatest offense in the history of the league. Probably is.
Well, yeah. The fascinating thing is I took an offense that is behind another offense that didn't go yet. But can we have this conversation real quick?
Yeah. Which you have one offense to ride with from game 1 of the first round until the finals. Who are we riding with and why?
It's not close for me. It's not close for me. And what I'll say about Cleveland, who I'm only gaining respect for that team. They're how many times can they prove it already this year? And yet the two big lineup that's going to play a lot of the game. I still have a feeling that the best playoff defenses will make that hurt a little bit. And I'll also say about Cleveland, everybody's shooting the ball amazingly right now, basically. And I'm not convinced that everyone's going to shoot 42% by the end of the year. So if and when those percentages start to go down, I have a feeling Boston will surpass Cleveland at some point. If and maybe the Knicks too, if they're healthy enough. But I think Cleveland's offense is legit excellent. I think Garland and Mitchell as your engines is crazy. I think the way they can stagger those stars, and I think they have 4 borderline stars right now, makes it so that there's really no drop off no matter who's in the game. But I don't think it's as sustainable as Boston's offense. I don't think Boston is playing at 5th gear this season so far. But to your point, John, the offense I trust the most in the league that I'm not sure there's a great way of really stopping is the Boston Celtics. So that's why I went there.
Deej, thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that I would ride with Boston first. Although if Mobley continues this growth and there's the synergy between him and Allen really is something that's really dangerous right now. And I wonder if it's being slept on a little bit, despite them on, in a marquee game, dominating the Thunder. I think they are legit. I think there's questions to be had about them, their shooting luck right now. And Benji's right. There's a lot of players on that team that are shooting really well right now, potentially above their norm. And you expect a little bit of a regression, but Mobley right now, if he's this type of player, then I just think that it changes the calculus to the point where I think they can go toe to toe with Boston. With that said, I think you have to have Boston a tier ahead based on history, based on, the amount of, the biggest advantage they have, which is the 3-point volume. It's just a real edge that they're going to have day in and day out. So I think Celtics are right now at a tier above Cleveland, but I think it's the gap's closing for sure.
Andrew, thoughts before I say something real quick?
Bleep Boston.
There you go.
And yeah, I'm with all of you. They're awesome.
To give you an idea of why this, I figured this draft might be fun. We've drafted 6 picks now. The teams that have been drafted: Knicks, Thunder, Nuggets, Hawks, Spurs, Celtics. I did a short list for each category in which I put between 10 and 15 names. Or 27 of those names, duos, teams, whatever entities have already been crossed off because there's the best teams, they tend to have a lot of stuff going for them. And we haven't even gotten to some of the best teams, which is why I'm very interested to see where DJ Zulo goes with this next pick.
Listen, we just talked about them, and I have to take the Cleveland offense here. Yes. Based on their current performance. I think they're going to. I project them to maybe not maintain this level, but I think they're going to be a very good offense throughout the year. I think the Garland Allen pick and roll duo would have been amongst the selections coming up, so it's nice to maybe take that off the board. But yeah, I think they're a really deep team, and there's just a lot of shooting. Strus really adds an element to this team. Him playing better, and Garland playing at the level he's playing at. I think it clearly was a lot of injuries and illness last year that really hampered him, and he just looks like a different player. They're really managing the Mitchell minutes, back to the minutes again, to the point where, he might have a little more left in the tank than he maybe normally would in the second half. So maybe that's a nice little way for them to maybe maintain this offense if he has a really nice close to the season. But they just are playing a really high level style of basketball, a lot of synergy. They've played obviously together last year and the year before. So this team has a lot going for it, and I just don't like the options beyond them. So I'm going to take them right here.
I forced your hand.
You did. I was taking Boston. So, you screwed me.
So to recap, Andrew has Victor Wembanyama and Dyson Daniels, the two headline defenders in the NBA this year. Benjy has Nikola Jokic, the presumptive MVP, and Boston, the defending champions in offense. And DJ just drafted the best offense and the best defense in the league.
See what happens when you go homer, John?
You know what? I don't think it's
enjoy the Knicks.
I am going to enjoy the Knicks. That was good. That was a good impression. Oh my God. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my cheat sheet here, and I want to tear it up because I don't even know what to do. So now is me gonna be going with I think an unsexy pick.
Now is me gonna be going with.
Now is me. That's where I'm at. Now is me. All right. Mm-hmm. That's
teaching the youth of America, folks.
It's me.
You happy you guys did this to me? This word, you happy?
He's gone caveman.
We did it to I. Yes. Sorry.
All of you. I don't like any of you. Okay. So I could go one of two ways. Actually, no, I could go both ways because I could have my cake and eat it too, because I get two picks here. So the first pick is going to be the unsexy of the picks, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the defense, and I'm going to go with the defense that takes, I think, more options off the board. Which actually, I don't even know which one of these two takes more options off the board. No, you know what? I have so much respect for this team after what they did to us the other night and what they've done to so many teams, staying in games that they have no business staying in. I'm going to go with the Magic's defense. Are they the second best defense in the league, or are they the third best defense in the league? I had them second on my personal board. So I don't think I need to tell anybody who's a Knicks fan and has watched Knicks games recently what Orlando's defense is all about. I don't quite frankly know how Jamal Mosley is doing it. DJ, Benjy, Andrew, is he the best coach in the league right now? I say yes.
Best coach in the league?
Best coach in the league.
I think he's the coach of the year.
Yeah.
The best coach in the league is subjective, so it's tough for me to go that far.
Okay, that's fair. But he's been the best coach this year?
Yes. He's done the best coaching job.
I watch his team play, and I don't think there is a coach to it. And we have some historical records so far this season, and I still say there's not a coach in the league doing more with his talent than Jamal Mosley right now. Beating the Knicks in the Garden was ridiculous with that team. Nuts. And you watch him, you see the game plan, you see how his guys respond to him, you see the effort, obviously. Like, what else do you want from a coach? Like, they are executing his game plan to perfection. They're playing as hard as anybody in the league. That's coaching, man. Like, yeah, he's legit.
Yep.
Also, love him.
Also takes away Suggs as a point of attack guy, which was definitely someone else.
Yeah, which I maybe frankly screw myself with that, but I think there's a couple other options in that category. So this is where I have
around that corner.
Yeah, the sexier, more vote getting pick here would be to go with the shot creator. Because I think there are a couple of name shot creators there still that look really nice and are very good. And yet there is a category there that if I don't take them, now I'm looking at it. Yeah, they're not making it back around to me, and I don't want to be stuck with the other options in this category. So I may have gone homer with my first pick. I am going with offense here. I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks. I think the best version of the Dallas Mavericks might be the only team in the league that I would put up against Boston, not because they play anything like Boston. Boston is Boston. I don't know how to describe Boston. The Mavs do it in a more traditional way that we've seen it throughout the history of the league, where you have two guys who are impossible to guard one-on-one, and you surround them with, I don't know, is there a more perfect marriage between two shot creators with their specific skill sets and the guys that they have put on that Dallas team? DJ, I know you've paid a lot of attention to the Mavs over the years. Like, what are your thoughts on their offense?
I mean, this was the year that they were going to get like the top 1 or 2 seed. I mean, they had everything, and that is even with like Grimes, who's taken a leap that clearly no one on this show thought. Especially Benjy, really down on Quentin over the years. Love the trade.
Love that trade. He has a Bogdanovich jersey in his closet. Yeah.
All kidding aside,
I'm not taking any victory laps. No, look at me. I'm just humble.
You should take victory. That was a good one.
Thank you.
That was a good one.
You were steadfast, Benjy.
You were steadfast.
That's all. Continue.
PJ Washington, the two centers. I mean, it's a really good group around the two stars. I mean, I think the team really could have challenged. It can challenge. I mean, if their stars get healthy, then they could challenge OKC. I think they can win the championship. I think they're that good around Luka and Kyrie. So I firmly I'm into them. I think they're a big time team if they can get healthy.
Yeah, I mean, to add Grimes and Thompson, two of the elite corner 3-point shooters in the league, in my opinion. Not just my opinion. I think the data supports that. To a team that generates, Luka is the probably premier corner 3 generator in the league. And obviously Kyrie does his own creation as well. That was a really intelligent. And then you have the defenders, obviously at the center position with their rim protection, but then with PJ kind of clogging space, the way he can be versatile defensively. And Najee Marshall was a nice add, another like kind of big wing that can handle a lot of different assignments. Like, I really like what they did in the offseason. And I believe that they're the biggest threat to OKC. And I believe they are still, once they hopefully get healthy, I think they are still in the inner circle of contenders. I think they're really excellent.
Well said. And I also, if I didn't pick the Dallas offense, I was going to pick Luka as a shot creator, and I took him off the board with the pick. So there you go.
I got to say, John, you've created a very interesting draft because in past iterations, I could be like, all right, these 3 guys have team offenses all taken, so I could just wait. But no, teams are going to start flying off the board with each pick. So I can't just wait to take my offense. Actually, there's some urgency. You literally had your cake and ate it too with how you created this. And
you know what? That compliment is the best compliment that you could ever give me. That I created a piece of content that is working.
Well done.
This is so beautiful to see this from you guys.
Yeah. I would be down to like try this again with a different iteration, like best shooters, best offensive players. You're giving me ideas for the summer. Well done.
3-and-D wings.
There you go.
Quentin Grimes.
We kind of left out the OGs of the world. Although he could be he's not really a point of attack defender. So.
I had him on my list, but yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he's kind of out on this list. But we could have one where he was theoretically in it if we had different categories. Anyway,
DJ.
Yeah. So I was going to consider Luka as a shot creator. However, looking at my sheet here, Benjy doesn't have a defense. Andrew doesn't have a defense.
That's correct.
There's a really good defense on the board right now, but I already have a defense. So I am going to is take what I think is maybe not the best pick in this spot in terms of value, but I like that it's taking a defense off the board. And I'm going to take Amen Thompson as my point of attack defender.
Look at you, sly dog.
I am taking the 3rd best defense per cleaning the glass off the board and not leaving it for my buddies Andrew and Benjy to take. So
I got to be honest with you, real quick, DJ. I didn't think that was the direction you were going. I thought you were going.
What you think?
I thought you were going Rudy Gobert rim protector.
I'm not surprised he didn't go in that.
I actually think you could have also gone Dylan Brooks as a point of attack. I think Amen's better, but Dylan Brooks is
my question.
I could have gone. Yeah.
Fred VanVleet. You could have gone with all three of them.
Yeah.
Well, back to Andrew's point about Dyson Daniels against Brunson, not in the same sort of time on the court, but when Amen Thompson has guarded Brunson, he's given him a lot of trouble. And Benjy and I have talked about it. He moves different. He's a 99 percentile athlete with great instincts, great size. So he's going to be a top 5 wing defender in the league for about a decade. So pretty happy to take him here.
I'll be curious, not to dip into like cap stuff, but I'll be curious because obviously you're going to have to pay Amen Thompson. They already just paid Senjun. Not that you can't play those guys together. You certainly can play those guys together, but I'll be curious as the entire league, I think, has their eyes on the Rockets and what they might do and what they could do, like their decision-making process over who they value, who they think is truly their core over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Maybe more than any situation.
I think offensively, that's where you have a concern about Thompson and Sengun. Defensively, I think they really are a great fit together. Is Thompson like so high level in terms of his just ability to play make and read the floor and play out of the dunker spot? Like, can he do enough of that to compensate for the fact that he can't shoot? And it just doesn't look like he's ever going to be like even an average shooter. Like he seems like he's so far away that it's hard to even project him to be a competent 3-point shooter. And
can he be Josh Hart?
Josh Hart, I don't even know if he can get there. Like, I think that would be a projection a little bit too rich for my blood right now.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't have to worry about that because you drafted him a point of attack defender. So you don't worry about what he does on offense, which is a great job by you. Which gets us to Benjy. Again, looking stacked, but now it gets tough. So where are you going?
Yeah, I have a couple possibilities here. But I am going to take the Memphis Grizzlies defense.
Okay.
And what I really like about the Memphis Grizzlies defense is there are different versions of it. When Jaren Jackson's at the 5, obviously one of the great rim protectors in the league himself, someone I could have drafted as my rim protector, flies around. They get really versatile. They're tough on the perimeter with Bane, even though Ja's like Ja can get there when he wants to. They're coached really well defensively. They're tough, they're disciplined, and then they can go really big with Edey, obviously, and that's a whole different look. Look, the numbers speak for themselves. They're 4th in defense. I think Jaren Jackson's having like an underratedly excellent defensive year. I think he's awesome. And I, therefore, am taking Memphis and their defense.
Took a few nice things off the board as well with that pick. Not only Jaren Jackson Jr., the Memphis offense is pretty highly rated too.
I was staring at them for offense, Benjy. Yep. That's a good pick.
Well, they're excellent. I mean, God, they're like kind of flying under the radar as like a total contender. They're 5th in offense, 4th in defense, for God's sake. I mean, they're like legit awesome, and Ja hasn't even been healthy all year.
So why do you think they're under the radar? Got to read there. What do you think?
That's a good question. I think, first of all, I don't think anyone's ready to just like buy into Ja being around and healthy and available all the time. I think that's definitely part of it. I think there's just like a perception. I don't think it's necessarily right, but I think there's a perception that they're like extraordinarily scrappy, play hard, like balls against
Miami
the wall every night.
They find these guys.
But in the playoffs, like, can they generate enough offense? That kind of thing. People are going under on Ja screens every time. I think that's why, but I don't know if you guys have other thoughts.
Well, I think it's a fair concern. Personally, like I do wonder about their half court offense against a really good defense. Like, I just don't like if they play OKC. Like, are they gonna? How can they score? I just don't know how they generate offense against a highly, even in Minnesota. Like, I think Minnesota give them a lot of problems. They would give Minnesota problems on the other end as well, but I just don't know if they can score enough.
And Minnesota was the other defense I was considering. And my only thought was, it's so much better without Julius on the floor, and Julius is going to be on the floor. And I don't think Memphis has a weak spot like that.
I don't think it's a coincidence that we keep hearing Memphis to the part of the conversation about why people are underrating them. They just keep getting mentioned in every rumor for every 3-and-D ish wing. That's they. I think they know that they're a piece away. But yeah. All right, now it's Andrew. I mean, I don't know how Andrew's going to follow that up, what he did the first round, but first 2 rounds.
Well, I'll start here.
Yeah, Andrew, how are you going to follow it up?
With
get some offense,
some statistics,
oh boy,
which goes against the whole X's and O's thing. But bear with me.
No, it does not. Excuse me. We supplement.
Okay. Well, then let this supplement my pick.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Pick and roll ball handlers. If you're going by total points scored, one player. There's a player on a team that is currently 7th in total points scored. Then when you go to pick and roll man total points scored, his pick and roll partner, one of his pick and roll partners on the exact same team, is 3rd in total points scored. Those players are De'Aaron Fox and Domantas.
Love it. What a great pick.
Okay. So they're going to be my pick and roll duo here. Statistically, 2 of the best in the NBA. And then from the eye test, every time I have the chance to tune into Sacramento, which they've actually been really fun since they fired Mike Brown. Who knew Keon Ellis should play basketball when he's on your team? But specifically something that started a couple of years ago after the Halliburton trade, created this pick and roll duo. It's been one of the more effective as far as scoring is concerned, and obviously adding a DeMar DeRozan into the mix is an interesting wrinkle, which is what they've had to try and work out this season. But I will go De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and take the Kings off the board.
They've been good for so long. I mean, every year they're at the top of the leaderboard, so there's no concern about them falling off. I mean, they're just the chemistry is. Is it the best in the NBA in terms of a 2-man game? It's close. I mean, there's so many reps together. No, it's not close.
I'm not saying who I think is above them, but I have a couple of options. Okay. But they're clear. They're excellent. And the beautiful thing about them too is, some pick and roll combos are so good because, like, you think about, like, I don't know, let's say Luka and Gafford or something,
or Trey and Capella,
Luka and Trey and Capella, where it's basically I'm a beastly roll man and I'm a lob threat, and the point and the guard is so damn good that it's like impossible to guard. Then there's something like Sabonis and Fox, which is Sabonis can screen, you can run a get action, you can do a DHO, you can pass it back and forth a couple times. Like, they're both so versatile. Sabonis is so skilled in terms of his ability to handle the ball and pass when he's passed the ball. They're fun to watch for that reason. And one of the reasons I hated the DeRozan trade was because I'm not sure why you take the ball out of those guys' hands. I just didn't understand it from that perspective. Like, I want Fox and Sabonis running that offense at the pace that they run that offense. I just didn't really get it for that reason. It's a good pick, Andrew. Those guys are really special.
Thank you.
Last 6 years of Sabonis' career, well, 5.5 because it's into this year, 19.4 points, 12.7 rebounds, 6.6 assists. Like, he only has 3 All-Stars. Only has 3 All-Star teams. He has 3 All-Star teams, 2 All-NBA teams. He's 28 years old. Like, there's a non-zero chance that Domantas Sabonis is going to make the Hall of Fame someday. I don't think that he gets there, but the numbers he's putting up are just like, I don't know how you can ignore it at this point. He's kind of prolific in his own way. So, for whatever that's worth.
So, Benjy, DJ, you're new to drafting with me in certain situations, and
not true.
John, well, we've drafted in the past, Benjy, but as far as my tendencies, John knows this. It's not so much that I'll take the Knicks as first chance that I get, and it leads to some homer picks. There's also some teams there's no chance that I'm taking. So it actually opens up the board for you that there probably are better options for what I'm over someone I might take, but there's no way I'm having someone from this Knicks rival team on my team, that I'm going to be the one to select them. So I will let you guys take potentially the better creators or shot creators or isolation scores, whatever we landed on in that. And I'm going to go Cade Cunningham with my next pick as a shot creator.
Wow.
There are two players.
Wow.
There are two players in this league averaging 24 and 9, at least 24 and 9 this year. Those are Nikola Jokic and Cade Cunningham this season. This is a little bit of Bryce Simon and the Kool-Aid that I've been forced to drink throughout the season on how much Cade has improved in every facet of the game, not just as a scorer, but as creating for other teammates. It helps when Malik Beasley is hitting everything that gets thrown his way. But yeah, I will go Cade Cunningham with my next pick.
Stunned.
And the Detroit Pistons are off the board.
Yeah, the Detroit Pistons off the board. There was no other.
There was my beef stew rim protector. Actually,
I had him on my list.
I can't. That was a possibility for me.
Benji, you're muted.
SARS.
Oh no, you were just delayed. Benji,
you're
come
good now.
back. You're back. You're good.
Maybe you're really into Osar Thompson's point of attack defense, but there was really no one else. Wow, that is the first wow pick for me. But I respect it because he's awesome. I respect it.
There are other creators that are probably better that you guys can have because they're on teams that I would never select. So
I love that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, is it my turn.
It is your turn. So
Benji, already, Andrew?
I went twice. Yeah, I took Sabonis and Fox, and then Cade Cunningham.
So just to recap, because we're midway through the draft, Andrew, pick and roll, Fox and Sabonis, shot creator, Cade, Dyson Daniels, point of attack defender, Wemby, rim protector. Benji, you have Jokic as your shot creator, and then Boston as your offense, Grizzlies as your defense.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think you nailed that. All right, I'm up. Cool, sweet, dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take.
We are stalling big time.
I'm going to take.
Yeah, he would never. I think I know one of two directions he's going here. And I wouldn't bet a lot that it's going to be one of these two players, but I have a feeling I know which way he's going to go.
Do you? Do you now?
I'll tell you. I'll honor code. I'll tell you if I was right or wrong.
I'm going to take the oft maligned Rudy Gobert as my rim protector.
Not the I thought you were going to go with a different Jazz rim protector, but you're going with the track record. Okay.
That's fair. I am going with a guy who it seems like no matter what happens around him, anchors a top 6 defense in the league. I just think it's not always pretty. There are ways you can sometimes expose him, but night in, night out, consistency of a guy who is going to make your offense worse when he's on the defensive end of the floor. Every year, he's not quite at his peak anymore, but I still think he is elite on the defensive end. Proof is in the pudding. I also take off the best team remaining and a bunch of different options that people could go with.
A ton.
Yep, exactly. And this is the one I thought the best thing I had left for that team. And so that is multiple reasons why I'm going with Gobert at the rim.
I'll be honest. When it was isolation score, I had Ant rated pretty high up the list.
How could you not?
And then
you guys are blaming me for this. Like
I'm just saying, no. I'm not blaming anybody, although it is your fault. I'm just saying, like the calculation with the Timberwolves changed when Ant was taken off the board as an isolation score. When I had to factor in how you affect other teammates, it changed everything, you know? So
that's fair enough.
That's fair. Look, you got Jokic and Gobert and then Boston and Memphis. You're looking pretty good, Benji. And that takes us to DJ, who has Amen Thompson and point of attack defender, and then Cavs offense, OKC defense. There's actually now there's the first point in the draft where there's a thing that I really, an entity that I really want. And I'm a little worried that DJ's going to take him.
Oh man. So I don't have a pick and roll duo right now.
You do not.
Benji also does not have one. John has one. Andrew has one.
I have one in spirit.
I don't love the options right now. I
have one.
You have a clear one.
So I have two options. DJ, this is more what I was alluding to, that there are two. I already had a pick and roll option, but no, that's right, because I took Sabonis and Fox. There are two that I think are better, and I went with one over the other. And then there was one.
You hate the team.
There was just no way I was taking one of them. Like, there's no way I was getting this team drafted onto my roster. You know,
I think it's one of two teams, and I think I know which one.
Bingo.
You're going with. Oh man, there's a duo that has not played much this year together, and I don't think has been amazing, but has been arguably the best pick and roll duo in the league at times, as early as last year. But one of the guys is never healthy.
They can go to hell too, DJ.
Yeah. I'm going to lose the draft if I take them, though. That's another issue.
Right? Are you drafting with your head, or do you actually want to win?
Can you thread the needle is the question.
I think this is the correct pick, by the way.
I still don't think I know what he's talking about. Who are you talking about?
Okay. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take the pick and roll duo. In Philadelphia.
Yeah. And beat him.
Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Who I think we could be looking back at this draft in a month, and we could say, how the hell did that duo last to this part of the draft? Because they are eating the league alive right now with efficiency, with the volume. It was just last year where we're like, how do you guard this pick and roll? It is unguardable. Maxey getting downhill. Joel in the short roll, Joel popping to three, Maxey pulling up from three. There's an argument to be made if when Joel's healthy, there's not a more dynamic pick and roll option in the NBA than Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I will assume a loss based on the audience that will be voting, but I'm going to take what I think is the highest upside pick at this stage of the draft.
And there's an argument that when I am 6 feet and 7 inches tall, I am a really good on the basketball court myself.
Wow, he picked Maxey and the first aid. That's the first aid kit. First aid kit can set some good screens. Depends, some of them.
As the guy who's been the foremost, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, foremost Embiid, I don't want to call myself an Embiid supporter, but Embiid believer at Knicks Film School over the years.
You wanted him, you were banging the drum that if the Knicks have a chance to trade for him, that's the guy that you had
for
circled.
Years.
Yeah, for years. Then he showed that he's a loser, and now we are happy to let him go be a loser in the city of losers.
Not only am I out, but it's DJ. It's not just one thing. It's a combination. Forget the loser stuff. It's the combination of you got to make it through. Like the playoffs are 2 months. Like you got to make it through 2 months, and then whatever was going on there earlier in the year, where like he got called out by his co-star. Now I shouldn't phrase it like that because it probably was not like quite that severe, but. Mm-hmm. That can't be what, and that does not pertain to you picking them as a pick, because they're still an amazing pick and roll though.
Well, no, the energy, the vibes, all the things. I mean, beyond the actual like, can he play? There's just so much that is just not good right now with them. But at this stage, like there's other pick and roll duos, and I'm like, all right, I know there's like a baseline that is better than this. Than what Maxey and Embiid can give you, but I'm just like at this stage, let's just shoot for a little bit higher because I know the upside is probably a tier above. But the health is a real thing. But midway through, I don't think it's the worst idea. DJ, to be clear, like taking my hater hat off, and I guess the hater half being shut down, like this pick and roll duo was terrifying for 6 games in the playoffs last year. Every single time Embiid came over with the screen, regardless of whether it was Anunoby guarding Maxey or Dante or Deuce, like the Knicks did not have an answer for 6 games. So and no one in the league
did. Right. Like this is the correct answer. Having said that, they can go to hell. Like that's literally the only reason why I didn't take him probably earlier with my opportunity to take. that pick. And then there's another loser that I decided to not take for instead of a shot creator. So we'll see if that person makes it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good pick outside of, it being Philadelphia.
And Embiid never plays.
Right.
And
right.
that too. Okay.
Yes.
It's me.
Hi.
Me. What did I say before?
I'm the problem. It's me.
I don't need therapy. I could readily admit it. I am looking at isolation score and going into this draft. I'll just full transparency. Isolation.
It's shot creator. It's shot creator.
No, shot creator. Yes, shot creator. Sorry, shot creator was the category that part of my strategy was I'm going to punt this category because there were so many people, and yet as literally every team gets drafted, their elite shot creator goes off the board.
Yep,
and there are still some good shot creators left. To be clear, however, I don't know how palatable of a taste they would leave in my mouth if I was forced to take them. And I'm down to a couple. One I like a lot, one I would live with. And if I'm like, the one I would live with is maybe I wait he does not make it around to me. So basically I might as well take the guy that I really want right now. And that's Kevin Durant. We don't think of Kevin Durant as a shot creator as much as a shooter. That said, and again, this is not isolations, it's a shot creation. Mm-hmm. But Kevin Durant is 10th in ISOs this year, and he is at 1.10 points per possession on those, which is among the high volume ISO scorers in the league. Only Jason Tatum is higher. Like he's in the 90, KD's in the 90th percentile. He makes offenses typically a lot better, although maybe the evidence in Phoenix would counter that this year at least. He's Kevin Durant. I mean, if I need to create shots one way or another, I feel good about having him on my team. So yeah. Any thoughts on what's going on in Phoenix this year? They're what are they? 3 games under 500? They just lost to the Hornets before tonight. They're playing the Hawks as we're recording this. Yeah, I don't know what's up, but I don't think it's a reflection on Durant.
It's not. I mean, the Beal going to the bench is probably a good thing for them. Booker really hasn't been that great this year, or at least he hasn't. I feel like he's batting at a higher level than his performance this year. But I don't think any of it's a reflection on Durant. He just continues at an age where you think there's going to be regression. Maybe there's some slippage on defense, but on offense, he just seems like the same elite shot maker, can score at obviously all 3 levels. This best mid-range shooter maybe ever in the NBA history, still doing that at a high level. Not the greatest passer, but when you could score at his rate with his efficiency, you could be sort of like just an above average passer and still have a elite offensive outcome or impact. So yeah, at this stage in the draft, phenomenal pick.
That's, you know what? And as you say that, whenever you're at a fantasy football draft and someone's like, hey, at this point in the draft, that's a good thing. It's never a good pick.
It's so true.
It's like, how is this guy still on the
It's
board?
kind of the kiss of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
not going to flatter you. I wouldn't have gone there, but
okay. That's fine.
Did they have a nuclear button to press?
Cade Cunningham and Kevin Durant going off.
That's my point though. Is like, it's almost like they have to, ironically, they'd have to emulate what Brooklyn did.
Mm-hmm.
Just sell off for other teams' assets because you don't have any of your own for the next.
Nuclear button is trade Devin Booker. That's the only button.
But it's both him and Durant who's still playing at a high level.
The Durant, I don't want to get far down this road, but the Durant part of that specific conversation is interesting because I don't want to be like who's trading for Kevin Durant. A bunch of teams would trade for Kevin Durant, but who's giving you the golden ticket that that you gave Brooklyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like.
So maybe you almost have to treat it like the way Brooklyn, like Kyrie, they got what they could. Now you could probably get more.
So Booker is KD
exactly.
And KD is Kai.
And you have to hope that. Yeah. I mean, the unique part about it is Brooklyn ends up turning Kevin Durant into 8 first-round picks because of what they got. Well, 9 if you include the Bucks pick. Like they got 9 picks out of it.
They got a lot. They're going to get more for Cam Johnson.
Right. So, but I don't think there's a player that the Nets would get back for Devin Booker. I would assume they'd want him to be part of the solution. But yeah, it's fascinating that's trending toward like a nuclear button getting pushed this summer.
Yeah. Okay. We've been going a little long, so let me get my point of attack defender off the board. I'm going to Herb Jones. I think he is by far the best option, especially when you consider the teams that have been taken off the board. He's really good, even though the Pelicans have had a season from hell. So Herb Jones for me.
Can I follow up? Was Durant the right pick on his team?
Oh,
for me, he is. Yeah,
this season probably.
Are we in consensus right now?
Yeah, I think it's close, but I think it's Durant for me too.
All right.
You think Booker?
It's like shot creator is a bit of a vague term, I suppose. And I think it is inclusive of both your own shots and the shots you create for others. I think that's why it makes sense. I would probably give a slight edge to Durant as well.
Okay.
And Booker has had an off year, frankly, so far. So
it's a this year question, Benjy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a worthwhile conversation at the very least. So yeah. Okay. DJ, it is back to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the creator. And I think, at least for me, this one feels obvious, but you can be like, oh no, there's another guy there that I'm missing. But I'm gonna take Giannis here as my creator. 97th percentile in offensive EPM, highest assist percentage of his career right now. He's maybe not quite the same guy as he was 2-3 years ago, at least when they won the championship, based on some slippage athletically, but he's still a terror getting downhill. Shot from mid-range what looked like it was going to be like a big weapon. It started to come down to earth a little bit of late, but I still think at this stage of the draft, to get a guy like him as your creator is pretty good value. So I'm going to go Giannis.
It's the other guy that I was looking at there in that category.
I think that personally that would have been my second answer behind Jokic, assuming because OKC went early, so Shea was off the board. I would not have taken Cade nor Durant over him as a shot creator personally, but Andrew loves Cade Cunningham, so it's fine. I accept.
I guess for me, it's just ultimately it comes back to the shooting. Obviously, it goes back to the shooting, which is like how much value do you put on the ability? Like Giannis's ability to turn what his skill set is into offense for his team. I mean, it helped them win a championship, but also you do have to put, I think, a certain type of team around him. And Durant is the opposite of that. I think Durant is the most malleable.
That's a good point.
Player in the history, arguably the most malleable star in the history of the league. Like
Brook Lopez specifically as kind of the center with Giannis unlocks so much of what Giannis can do. And that a guy like Brook Lopez is so hard to find. I mean, think about how long the Knicks were trying to get a guy that was 75% the shooter that Brook Lopez is, or has been over his career. So that's a really good point. And he is definitely a more, you have to think about the fit a little more. Whereas Durant, you can literally plug him into any team.
That's true.
And you're fine.
When we're talking about a number one option, though, they're just not they're not in the same league anymore. Durant was a few years ago. I just don't think they're in the same league.
I guess the question is like, what does it look like if it's like
if Giannis is on the Suns?
I don't know, if Giannis was like in Zion, if Giannis was in Zion's spot and he's got like Yves Missy as like his center. And I'm only thinking about that because I watched Zion play against a team recently, and there was like literally walling up the paint and just ignoring a center. And I just wonder how like Giannis can handle that over, and still maintain like elite impact. Like I think it's a fair question to wonder.
Right. I agree that the fit is more tricky with Giannis because of the shooting, but I would just say like the more pertinent question might be if Giannis was on the Suns instead of Durant. And I think the answer to that question is they're much better.
I mean, it's yes.
Plus, you can play Giannis at center, but he's just I just think he's a much better player right now than Durant. But okay,
Benjy,
I don't think
you're wrong that he's better.
Benjy, you said it. They could play him at center, whereas Durant, every time they've gone to center, they're conceding something on the defensive end.
Yeah,
which is why Nurkic has been such an issue for them. It's why they've been going the Royce O'Neal route and trying to find something that works. Whereas Giannis in certain lineups for I mean, if we're literally making it this specific version of that team, he would also go to a coach that knows his strengths really well and Budenholzer. Like, yes, it would work that way. I think Kevin Durant is a hint better this season than what you're saying, Benjy. But I do think
Durant's not
Giannis
awesome. I'm just saying Giannis is like an obvious top 3 player in the league, and Durant isn't anymore. But
yes,
there's more. Correct. But look, there's more to Giannis being a top 3 player in the league than just his shot creation. So it's closer than that implies. But I actually don't. Whatever. I made my point. I think Giannis. I think DJ made the right pick. I guess is what I'm getting at. Okay, my turn.
Yes, it is your turn.
Yes.
You need pick and roll combo and point of attack defender.
Yes, I am going with my just to make sure that DJ doesn't get all the hate. And I have 2 options here that I could go with, but I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner as my pick and roll duo.
I was so worried you're going to force me to take the Pacers for offense, and I was going to be so mad.
Look, I don't have to tell Knicks fans what a load those 2 guys are to deal with in the pick and roll. Obviously, the ability to roll and pop for Turner and the way that Halliburton manipulates pick and roll, one of the best in the league. And by the way, quietly, when nobody's hating on him, he's kind of back to himself. He's playing really good ball. So I just think he's a true pick and roll manipulator. Like when we're talking about a pick and roll, we're not talking about an offensive creator. We're not talking about his isolation play. We're just talking about pick and roll. He's elite as elite gets at that spot. And Turner's versatility, I think, is a popper and roller, and he's gotten better as a roller over the years. Makes him a really nice partner for Hallie. And so there was one other option, which at the end maybe I'll divulge as to who I was thinking about, but I think Hallie and Turner are the best remaining duo.
It's a good pick. I like it. And they are hell on wheels.
Oh yeah, statistically they're like top 5 on that graph you guys sent too. I mean, it's legit.
They're very good. Mm-hmm. And as Fred's been touting this, the Pacers starting 5 is like absurd. Their numbers together. So, yeah, I'm one of the top 5 teams I'm going to be watching over the second half of the year is Indiana, because I still have a lot of respect for them. All right, so Andrew now needs an offense and a defense.
Wild
front running losers. So with my defense, I'm going to go with a bit of a surprise this season. A team that a lot of people thought was headed toward 35 wins. They may single-handedly rebuild the Los Angeles Clippers. I just gave it away. Rebuild the Oklahoma City Thunder by tanking so much that unfortunately their pick was going to convey and give the Thunder the 1 seed, a championship, and a lottery pick. I'll go with the Clippers for the 4th-ranked defense right now in the NBA, and I believe like a top 6 record in the East, in the West at the moment. No, that's how good they are. It's a top 6 record in the East and the West. That's how good the Clippers have been.
They're really good.
Yeah, they're 20-17 on the season, down to 8 after a 2-game losing streak. But 4th in defense, you really can't fake that. And they're getting Kawhi back, so who knows if that's going to help? Oh, they got Kawhi back. That's going to help or improve that team, or maybe it'll hurt team chemistry. But I'll go with the Clippers, who have certainly impressed me on the defensive end this year.
Yeah, and Chris Dunn could have been an option for a point of attack defender for sure.
That's a good ball.
He's been pretty incredible defending the ball. And Zubac has been good. He's sort of like perennially underrated.
That's what I was going to say. So you look at Zoo's rim protection numbers, and they're quite impressive. And like to think that a team that's starting, Harden, we all know the defensive story with Harden. Yeah, he can switch and he's strong, but there's not a ton of.
You can't post him up.
You can't post him up. There's not much consistent effort.
Don't try.
There's not much consistent effort there. Norm Powell, I think, is a solid defender. But it's kind of built on this defense has been built on the back of like Dunn at the point of attack and Zoo at the rim. And I think it's a rather shocking ranking that they're 4th in defense. Like it's pretty impressive. Ty Lue, obviously a great coach. I know the super long guy from Dallas.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Thank you. Derrick Jones Jr. is a load to deal with defensively as well. So they have some personnel there, but I wouldn't have put them in top 5 defense. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And I wonder if it'll sustain, but Andrew, it's the right pick at this point. No question.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the right pick at this point, John Frostwell, do you have anything to add about the Clippers?
It takes Harden off the board as a shot creator. He's been quietly very, very good as a shot creation.
I was a little afraid.
There are no more shot creators.
But yeah, I was afraid that the team, I was afraid the Clippers were going to get taken off the board by the time when I was going through this last cycle, because I had no other defense to turn to. I was like, all right, I see a team with a high net rating.
There's one other that I'm not going to say out loud because well, whatever. Just make your next pick.
Well, I have to get creative with my last pick because I need a team offense.
Yeah, you do.
And I thought about going the route of the team that has torched the Knicks twice this year on offense, but I couldn't defend it. So that'd be the Chicago Bulls, John, but I'm not going to go that direction. Instead, I know that this whole draft, the spirit of it is about what's happening now, what's happening this year. And while it's important to focus on the present, sometimes you got to go to the past when you're looking for a team offense. And more specifically, maybe a guy that scored more points than anybody in the history of the NBA. A pick and roll partner with Anthony Davis as well, LeBron James that would actually be up there for pick and roll tandems. I know what LeBron James is on defense, but I will take the Los Angeles Lakers offense with my next pick. It's certainly better than their defense. Their issues have been on that end of the floor. It's only going to get better as DFS works his way into this offense and they find synergy there. So I will take the Lakers with my last pick as a team offense.
First of all, they're 12th in offense. They're the best remaining by rankings. They're the best remaining offense. It is wild that we have done this draft and it took to the last round to get a team off the board that has LeBron James and Anthony Davis on it. Even with the categories that we have, that's
rim protector, pick and roll duo.
So to be clear,
shot creator for LeBron, right?
The dilemma I had earlier with pick and roll, it was either Fox and Sabonis, Embiid and Maxey, or LeBron and AD, and I went Fox and Sabonis over LeBron and AD. Because obviously Embiid and Maxey were disqualified from my team. So that's where I was like, I feel I'll leave LeBron and AD for somebody else. And it just never happened.
Okay. So that is crazy. So Benjy, you have to pick a point of attack defender.
Oh, real quick. Can I say something? And I know you guys will co-sign it. I just took 2 LA teams. Just a shout out to everybody in the LA area with what's going on over there. Every image that pops up on social and from I reached out to Fuddy and some friends that are living in LA and just are flat out trying to survive over there. So we wish you the best. We hope this draft was a distraction from what you're going through over there. And just our best wishes to just anybody in the Western California area.
Absolutely. And Fuddy got back to you, you said?
Yeah. Fuddy's good. He said he's doing well. Mark Sable as well. Any patrons over there, any listeners over there. We're thinking of you. Believe me, we're thinking of you.
Yeah. It all happened so fast. I know a lot of people out there that it caught them. And there was rumors that it was going to be the sort of conditions were ripe for something to happen, but I think it just caught everyone by surprise. And at least everyone I know, and it sounds like you guys the same, or at least are getting everyone healthy and safe. So that's all. That's what you hope for.
Agreed, DJ. Yeah. Benjy, you're up.
Thanks for
nice segue. Yeah.
I echo the sentiments. Also that you just ended up with the Lakers offense. If you've watched that offense, that's
LeBron James is and Anthony Davis are bad at basketball.
Their offense is not like
JJ Redick, coaching genius.
Lovely to watch on a possession to possession basis.
What did I say? We are not talking about the present. We're talking about the past.
But LeBron and Davis are ranked highly as a pick and roll duo, and I thought about them as well. And look, Davis not being in the rim protection conversation right now, I just don't think he's been quite the same. Okay. Anyway, I have point of attack left, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I am going with a man known as Off Night, Davion Mitchell.
Oh,
The Toronto Raptors. He is stuck on a terrible basketball team that is not, and he doesn't play every night, but both from like watching him play.
Does that hurt your selection a little bit when the guy you picked doesn't play?
We have our first non-rotation player on a 9-win.
Whoa.
At least Embiid, my guy, he should be playing. He just can't because he's hurt.
I at least took LeBron and AD. Yeah.
You look at the metrics on B-Ball Index. He's elite at forcing misses. The Raptors defense is 4.5 points better with him on the floor than off of it. If he played
a single possession against the Knicks, that was late in the second quarter. He got in there for
it was a stop. It was a stop. He
is a bad offensive player, but he is an elite defensive guard, and he's actually one of the best in the league if you got a consistent opportunity. And I actually think if we're just talking about a point of attack defender, which is what this category is titled, then it's actually a very good pick. So I am going with Davion Mitchell.
I thought about writing his name down on my cheat sheet.
And then you thought better of it and realized he can't even play for the Raptors or giving up points to everyone at an incredible clip, and he can't even get on the floor.
So once again, the defense is 4.5 points better with him on it.
Fire the coach.
How is it only 4.5 points better?
And he's playing.
It should be 10 points better.
He's playing with Grady Dick.
He's sitting Davion Mitchell. He's sitting Chris Boucher. What are they doing up there?
By the way, RJ Barrett, he's playing with the strong wing that he is, went for a pump fake against his former teammate Josh Hart, who we should know well, for a blow-by layup in the second quarter. And I was like, RJ, are you serious right now? Dude, better defensively. Davion Mitchell is an elite point of attack defender. You can argue with the wall. Look at the data. Look at the metrics. He is elite.
RJ was the other guy, by the way. If I didn't take KD, I was going to take as at my shot creator.
Is that kind of year? I don't know if you were being serious or not, but
dead serious.
I mean, Andrew took Kate Cunningham. He thinks everything's a possibility.
Listen.
I can't.
Well done, DJ. I did not know you had that in you, DJ. That
the degree to which Davion Mitchell is better at point of attack defending than the Lakers are at offense. Like
LeBron James has more points than anybody ever.
Oh my God, we're just getting mean now.
Everybody on this list.
They go like 16 straight possessions without making 2 passes. They stink at offense, and you pick them as their offense. I don't want to hear it.
I had to turn on the
DJ, remember the poll?
Meanwhile, both these jerks didn't take Giannis Antetokounmpo as their shot creator.
Remember the poll that was going around, or the question that was going around of like player that you thought was good that turned out never being good, and you opened up about Frank Ntilikina. Like, I feel like Davion Mitchell. See, Benjy's in extra defense mode, which unfortunately is not what.
Who would you have taken
Lakers
here?
are.
Let's hear all you brilliant.
Oh, I have no idea. We're at the very bottom of the barrel.
No, I have 2 other names written down, but I'm going to save my honorable mentions.
I would have taken Mikal Bridges over Davion Mitchell.
The Knicks are off
the Knicks are off the board right now.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, I thought
so. Wait, hold on. Well, first of all, if there's nobody better to take, that's on you for poor strategizing. Number one.
No, it's not, because he's legit good at it.
And number 2.
Okay, I got one for you.
There are 2 names. Wait, don't say honorable mentions until the end. We'll get through the other teams. So we have 2 picks. You have a pick, and I have a pick.
All right.
We both
have rim protector. Yeah.
All right. Rim protector.
And this is great because I got 2 names and they're both eligible. It doesn't matter what you do. So I'm just going to take whoever you don't take.
Okay. So I think I have to go chalk here and take a guy that's been amongst the league leaders in back-to-back years. A guy rumored to potentially be a target of the New York Knicks.
Well, that was one of them.
Walker Kessler.
The boyfriend of Miss America?
Boyfriend of Miss America, right?
Yeah.
Miss Alabama. So he's just been a really high-level rim protector for 2 years in a row.
Is that real?
Yeah. Winning
the numbers are exceptional.
No, not the numbers.
Yes,
Is he dating Miss America?
I knew exactly what you were talking about. And yes, he's dating Miss America. Walker Kessler winning at life. There's a video of him and Coach Hardy watching her win on a phone at like dinner and celebrating.
Isn't his teammate getting like cucked or something by there's like a Mormon situation? Philipowski?
There is a weird Phil
I believe
thing.
Phil Kowski's the babysitter story. Right?
I believe John just selected Kyle Filipowski as his rim protector, and we are done with the draft.
No, I can't even pick him. He's on the Jazz.
Ineligible.
Oh,
no.
damn.
Yes.
All right. Walker Kessler's
very good.
Walker Kessler's a good pick. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
oh wait, the Utah defense stinks. What do you mean it's good? The Utah defense is terrible. Where are they ranked? Bums.
The fact that this draft has gotten Benjy this twisted means it has been a success.
It's job well done. We did it, folks. We did it. Jeff.
Okay. I have one pick left, and there are two players that I am looking at. One, I'm just going to be honest, I think is the better rim protector, and the other is just a vastly superior player who has a much better reputation, and he's a better overall defender, but this category is rim protector. But then again, you could pick at it, and like rim protection involves a lot of things. So I'm going to talk myself into it. I'm just going to take Bam of the Miami Heat.
Damn it, John.
And not overthink it. And with that, we are done with our draft. Before we recite the picks that we did not or that we made, sorry. I'm going to tell everybody the 6 teams that did not get drafted in no particular order. The Chicago Bulls, the Brooklyn Nets, the Charlotte Hornets, the Washington Wizards, who I predicted before the draft did not get taken, the Portland Trailblazers, and man, oh man,
this is the one. Yeah,
I don't get. It's like the Golden State Warriors, which is, I don't know what to say.
I would have taken Curry above Cunningham, and maybe Durant even
as
now.
a creator.
Yep. And
I had Stephen Dre listed on my honorable
pick and
mention.
roll.
That was my other thing. Is I was thinking about maybe the best pick and roll duo, one of the best pick and roll duos of all time. That yes, they've lost their fastball. Draymond's not nearly the same.
Yes,
but that's still a powerful pick and roll duo.
And I also had Warriors mentioned for defense because their defense is very highly rated. Those were honestly, those were two of the, there were 4 things written down left on my paper. 2 of them were Warriors defense, Stephen Dre, and the other 2, to answer your question, Benjy, point of attack defender. I had Toumani Camara written down for the Blazers, and I had even though he got torched by Jalen Brunson, I did have Bilal Coulibaly written down for the Wizards because I like what he. Young player, lot of room to grow, but still, I did have.
Wait, can we just nail down? I just want to talk for a second. Can I talk for a second?
Please.
Yeah, I know we're overdue, but I'm wound up. Walker Kessler, the great rim protector of our time, is anchoring the 28th best defense in the league. Of course, they're much better with him on the floor, right? Wrong. They're 3 points worse with Walker Kessler on the floor on defense. So make fun of my Davion Mitchell pick. You pick the dude anchoring.
My guy plays basketball.
The 3rd worst defense in the league. The anchor of the 3rd worst defense in the league. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear it. He's pairing minutes with Colin Sexton.
Now we're going to talk about the teammates.
If it's a plus minus that you have to incorporate John Collins, Lauri Markkanen,
Grady Dick, RJ Barrett,
John, let him cook.
Kelly Olynyk.
I will say this and I think you'll agree with this. I think, but if you're a rim protector, you're much more beholden on your teammates propping you up than you are point of attack defense, where you can, I think, guard. What do you mean?
Disagree. You need a decent big to guard on pick and roll. What, Jakob Poeltl's the most mobile big in the world now? Kelly Olynyk next to him doing his thing?
Dyson Daniels is the best point of attack defender. He's got Clint Capella back there in a deep drop. Like,
he's a solid deep drop defender.
No, he's not. He's okay. He's not helping your guard, your ball screen defense. I don't actually think the Walker Kessler pick was bad. I think the same logic applies though to Davion Mitchell. No, and I think your pick was terrible because again, your guy doesn't play basketball.
Sure he does.
No, he doesn't.
When?
All the time.
In practice, he plays a lot, I'm sure.
If you did tell me like Frank played more minutes than him this year, I'd probably be like, oh no, Frank's out the league, right?
Where?
But I'd look it up. No, I'd look it up. Be like, wait, has he played more minutes?
He's played in 33 games this season. You guys are acting like he's he's played 803 minutes.
Are they 3 and 30 in the games he's played?
So what are you guys talking about? He doesn't play. Now you're just making shit up.
Man,
that was amazing.
I did not.
This is how you crack the bottle open on two guys that are going to be on some
cancel the whole
podcasts.
thing. I can't work with this guy.
Never gonna talk to
All right,
each
John.
other.
I think I'm doing the Patreon pod again. Unfortunately, because Benjy and DJ just said they can't work together anymore. Yeah.
I had one other honorable mention I wanted to mention was Nick Claxton as a rim protector on the Nets. Not that everybody cares.
He's actually not been very good this year.
I wish you hadn't taken Bam out of bio, John.
You wish I had not.
It would have been really funny to put the official nail in the coffin of what is the Miami Heat by them not getting drafted in this draft.
Yeah. Hold on. Question for the group. Best shot creator amongst the Bulls, Nets, Hornets, Wizards, Warriors, and Blazers.
LaMelo. No, that was serious.
That's a serious answer.
Best shot creator over Steph.
Oh no, sorry. I thought we.
Yeah.
I would take. Steph
You said the Warriors, right?
Yeah, I said the Warriors.
Of
the teams we're not in draft. That's why I'm going.
I would go Steph, then LaMelo, then Levine.
Yeah, same order.
So I actually have an X's and O question for both of you, because I guess shot creation made me factor in the assist totals a little more once it got brought into the equation. So how do you differentiate between like what Steph is as just a pure scorer and the gravity that his shot creation is, and a more traditional point guard like Chris Paul, or in my example, Cade Cunningham, or a guy that literally is passing the ball to teammates to create shots?
Yeah, Steph does it in a different way, but I think it's really seen in like the impact, the overall offensive impact. But his off-ball gravity and just movement, it's just so debilitating to a defense that it will create shots and create openings and create space, similar to how like Benji's article about Karl Towns, which you can find on our Patreon page, about how the Knicks cutting has enhanced with his ability to space out. He's not he's not making all the passes, but it's his space that is creating those lanes to cut into and finish. So it's different, but it's similar to how Steph is able to impact the game despite, maybe not even taking a shot in a possession. So he still is elite in terms of his impact based on that part of it.
Benjy?
Yeah.
No, 100%. And Steph, maybe more than any other player in the league, gets the assist that leads to the assist. Like the way they trap, he pretty much always draws a trap. Like there's no one in the league who draws that double more often probably than Steph, and it's at 33 feet out. And so the pocket pass to Draymond, he gets downhill and then sprays out the ball to shooters, which they don't have. Theoretically, to shooters, like they should have. That's been their offense, since 2013. I mean, that's what runs it. And so I consider that shot creation. Like it's his gravity, it's his power as a shooter that creates shots for everybody on that team.
It's a great call. Okay, we'll go through our teams real quick, and then I'm going to turn it to Andrew to get us all out of here. I will go first.
John, go first.
Wait, I go first, right?
Yes, John, go first.
Pick and roll duo, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Shot creator, Kevin Durant. Point of attack defender, Herb Jones. Rim protector, Bam Adebayo. Offense, Dallas Mavericks. Defense, Orlando Magic.
DJ.
I took the defense of the Oklahoma City Thunder with my first pick. Second pick was the Cleveland Cavalier offense. Point of attack defender, Amen Thompson. Pick and roll duo, controversially, Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Shot creator, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and rim protector, Walker Kessler.
Maxey and Embiid. Speaking of not playing basketball.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who's playing this year? Chris Dunn or Joel Embiid?
He doesn't play basketball.
Oh man, it's not even about more impactful in their minutes. It's just how many minutes.
I mean, Benji, do you have your picture written down, or do you need me to say it for you?
There's a Google Doc that I sent both of you. All three of you, I should say.
Are you kidding me? Look at this.
I've been handwriting these.
Okay.
Oh wow! Look at that. There you go. That's what I have too.
You might have noticed I took this seriously. Defense, the Memphis Grizzlies, the rim protector Rudy Gobert, pick and roll duo Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner. Point of attack defender, the exquisite Davion Mitchell. Offense, Celtics, shot creator Nikola Jokic.
I didn't even put Davion Mitchell on the doc. I just wrote Raptors 12th man.
Wow.
Well, I love you, Benjy. I was gonna let this awkwardness sit there as he death stares me. I think he's mad at my hat too.
All right, Mr. Cade Cunningham. Go ahead.
Real talk. I'm actually like, I should have took a step over Cade in hindsight. Like if I could, I would make that acquisition now. But my picks instead were Victor Wembanyama as a rim protector, Dyson Daniels as a point of attack defender, Sabonis and Fox as a pick and roll duo, Cade Cunningham, future All-Star, as a shot creator, and then the Lakers offense and the Clippers defense.
I love it. This was fun. I enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun doing this. And we had some good basketball discussion. And if anybody out there listening would like to enjoy more fun basketball discussions about not only the Knicks, but about the league at large, like this one, go ahead, go to, where could they go? They can go to patreon.com and search for Knicks Film School, or click in the link that is in the description of this episode. Go to like literally any of our social media pages. You'll find it. It's very easy to find. And go ahead, subscribe, give it a shot. Give us a shot for a month. See what you think. If you want to stick around, great. If not, no harm, no foul. It's all good. But we appreciate you listening to this episode regardless. I'm going to get everybody to sign off one by one. DJ, I'll go to you first. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
No, I mean, I'll be doing for the Patreon subscribers, a breakdown of Knicks Thunder, big game Friday night. So we'll have something likely Saturday morning on that game for Patreon subscribers. So be on the lookout for that.
Benjy.
Yeah, keep an eye out for the Ritz grade book coming out after the OKC game at some point, although I don't get back online till Saturday night. So it'll be a little later than normal. And after every game, working on some other projects and thinking about what to write next. So, and if you haven't read the Karl-Anthony Towns article that I posted, please do so. I think you'll enjoy.
I said my piece, so I will let Andrew sign off this episode.
Yes, thank you everybody for tuning in to another edition of the Knicks Film School Patreon pod, as I apparently am graduating to just be an editor on this pod, because I'm going to be very much involved in the putting together of this pod when they're done recording. To anybody that has listened over the last 4 years, we appreciate it, especially John and I, who get these things out over the summer in mass, because we're trying to go on vacation. And so we record a lot ahead of time. But I look forward to not only working with, but listening to Benjy and DJ and their takes on the NBA at large. And I think you guys will as well. And if you dug it, please head over to Patreon because you're watching the free preview. And as John mentioned, subscribe to the Monroe tier, the Brunson tier, the Mellow tier, or if you just want to show general support, you don't get any content, you can go to the Heart tier. But we have a lot of options for you if you're interested. Some programming notes. No pregame pod on Friday. If you want to listen to a preview on the Oklahoma City Thunder, Andrew Schlecht and I did a pod a week ago that is still very relevant. And Casual Friday will be at 1:00 on Friday with Jeff J and Sean with a W. We're just listing all the initials out there. And even more importantly, John will be on the post game, but not before he is at T-Squared Social with the rest of us for the Knicks watch party as the Knicks take on the Oklahoma City Thunder on Friday night. So join us there, be there, or T-Squared. And until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the game, and please sign up for Patreon, and we will speak with you soon.